What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the podcast Sitting Tall with me, Casey Ellen, and my boy Tony Chamberlain. And we have a very special guest joining us today, Jesi Stracham, the straw that you drink and the ham that you eat, baby.
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you all so much for having me. I'm glad to get to be in your space.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you being in our space.
Yeah.
It's great.
And we appreciate you even doing it while you're in the standing frame. Like what better way to, two birds, one stone. It's just
I spend, no lie, I spend probably 2 to 3 hours a day when I work from home in this, at least. Like I get down to pee and I'll pop back in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important. Like I've stood pretty much since my injury. About 2 years in, I started having bone density loss. Y'all know, like that bone density loss is no joke. You're like, oh, I don't want to fall and break my leg or anything. I was like, that Facebook group, Disability Trading Zone, I got this boy for $400 delivered. Okay,
nice.
I'm a wheelchair user getting rid of it. And that's like that is one of the best resources for buying used mobility equipment or anything that we need.
Yeah, but you got to send that link after. We'll put that in the comment section when we post this video.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, I never seen that group before, but
I feel like there's so many groups out there that I don't even have a clue about. And it's funny because every time we interview guests, I feel like we always learn more and more about different things, and it's great. That's why, for me, for instance, it's funny that you're talking about your standard frame because I have a standard frame that actually doesn't fit me because I'm so tall. I'm 6'1", and it goes down to my belly. So when I stand up, I literally go forward. I'm just like, this isn't working for me, and I'm like, I need to find something that's a little taller, but maybe one day.
We need to MacGyver it to make it extend the table and the chest raises.
I must have adjusted this thing 3 or 4 times, and it still doesn't come up to my chest level. And I'm like, I can't be the only person that's tall and trying to stand up in a standing frame. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something you can figure out.
Right?
Right.
I just gotta chop my feet off, and maybe I'll be short enough to stand up in it. No big deal.
Nubs.
Who needs feet, right?
Well, to be fair, you could chop them at the knees, and then if you have hip flexors, we could just throw you in some prosthetics, and now you can walk around.
Nice. Look at this. I'm gonna head to my doctors and be listen. I need you to chop off my knees from the knees down. That's all I need you to do.
We're dead weight.
Look at me. Look at me like I got 10 heads or something. Excuse me, sir. You'd be like, yeah, you heard me.
Stupid.
So gotta come up with some new stuff, man. You know what I mean?
That is just too much, Tony.
It's too much. That's right.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm a tall guy, and things just don't fit for me, and I don't like it, sir. Okay.
So. To get to reel it back in a little bit, Jesi. So just give us a little bit about you, who you came from, where you are, your whole little. If you want to give us a little outline of the Jesi Stracham story.
Hey, so I grew up in northeastern Ohio, from Canton, about an hour and a half south of Cleveland. We're known for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I grew up racing 4-wheelers. I raced off-road in a series called GNCC. It's woods racing.
Nice.
I raced from the time I was probably 12 until 18, 19, took a year off, and then came back when I was 21. Probably my favorite thing in the world to do was race 4-wheelers through the woods. I didn't make good choices growing up. I snuck out on a regular basis, got in trouble with the law a couple of times, drank every single day as a teenager, ended up getting pregnant at 15, had an abortion, became an adult, quit racing, graduated school early, moved out of my parents and went to work full time. I waitressed, and then I got an orthodontic assisting job and still waitressed at nights. Had a boyfriend that I bought a house with and then continued to cheat on, so I cheated on him pretty regularly. And moved back home a year before I got paralyzed, filed bankruptcy, and a year later got paralyzed, and life's been wild ever since. I think I tried to continue living that life. I think we all try to continue living that reckless life. If you lived a reckless life before, you try because you feel invincible. I was in a motorcycle accident, so a woman made a U-turn into the bike I was passenger on. Driver didn't stop in time. He went through the back window, broke his leg. I went over the SUV, broke my back in 2 places. Chest collapse, ribs punctured my lungs, nicked my spinal cord between T4, T5. I have a TBI and I coded twice and had to be resuscitated. So I'm mad blessed to get to still be here. Still partied and bullshitted that first year and a half. Oh, can I cuss? Oh God.
Oh yeah, we're all about the fucks and shits here. That's fine.
Shit.
No, listen, you and me both.
Potty mouths here. It's fine.
I love it.
Yep.
So yeah, obviously went through rehab here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Went to Carolina's rehab, learned how to be independent, and I snuck out of rehab to get my car and learn how to drive. I took driver's ed. So that way, when I got out of the hospital, all I had to do, it was like a week later, my hand controls got put in, and I hit the ground rolling. I was
Yeah.
ready to go, and I went pretty nonstop up until COVID. So I never really addressed what had happened. I never accepted what had happened. I just compartmentalized it and traveled nonstop. So when COVID happened, it forced me to be home. And my cousin committed suicide. I felt this impending jealousy that her life was over and she was no longer struggling.
Mm.
And I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't be feeling this. And I was like, God, you saved me for a reason.
Yeah.
Take my life and do something with it, please. And I gave my entire life to God, and he really opened up some crazy doors. The last 4 years have just been such a blessing, and I feel so grateful I get to live life this way.
Holy potato skins.
Well, that's
now
a hell of a story right there.
well, ladies and gentlemen, you might have to rewind that because that is woo.
Welcome to the podcast. That's a whole bunch of stuff rolled into one right there.
I think I'm ready to watch the Jesi Stracham documentary movie because I feel
Actually,
like
I think we can wrap this up now because she did a pretty good job in like just
Oh.
putting it all out there right away. You know what I mean? That was great.
You live quite a life, my friend.
No, I'm excited for the book to come out because it really.
A book coming out?
Yeah, it's called. Well, I'm fighting with the publisher right now, so I. Oh, you could just throw that down. Sorry. I have a publisher, and they want to change the title. So the title is currently Power in the Role because I've been on wheels since I could walk, right? Like
Love
my
it.
parents,
Yeah,
my parents
even
met
racing.
through trucking.
Yeah.
Right. My parents met through trucking. At 6 months old, my dad got me a pedal car that I couldn't even reach the pedals in. And then at a year old, I had a Power Wheels Jeep, and he put blocks on the pedals so I could reach them and tied the steering wheel so I only went to the right, and I'd go in circles till I fell asleep. And from go-karts, I went to four-wheelers, and then four-wheelers to dirt bikes, back to four-wheelers. And so, like, I've always been on wheels, so it's very ironic that I ended up in a wheelchair. And they want to
crazy.
Why do they want to change the title? I feel like that's perfect for you.
Something gay, like overcoming spinal cord injury or something like that.
No. Of course they want to do that.
Wieners. That's because they don't have a spinal cord injury. A bunch of wieners.
Right.
Oh my
right?
God.
And I'm very lucky. My editor, she actually has done a lot of pieces for New Mobility magazine, which you guys know that's our disability magazine that we have. And so she knew immediately. She was like, I was waiting for you to call me, because I called her and I was like, we're self-publishing. I'm not fucking doing this. Like, no way. I'm not, like, that's the one thing. I don't mind leaving pictures out. I don't mind leaving some details out. I do not want the title to change. I'm so attached to it.
that fits. I feel like that fit perfectly for what you just, your life. Like,
right.
Get out of here, publisher. We're going to go self-publish on Amazon. Fuck it.
Yeah, you need to stick to your guns too, because people are always trying to tell us like what not to do and what to do, and blah, blah. It's just like, come on, just let me be me, like,
don't put
straight
me
up.
in a box.
You don't know
damn it.
anything
That's right.
about me. You know that I'm very vocal. I'm very like, hey, if you don't agree, that's cool. I'm gonna still do what I gotta do. Like, I don't need no one's acceptance except for God's.
Yeah.
And so I'm good to go. Like, I don't need anyone to approve of what I gotta do or anything like that. Like, I think that's the beautiful thing of personal development in that space, right? Is you learn how to accept you for who you are, what you are, and how to continue to get better. And when you continue to focus on just being 1% better every day, no one can tell you anything, because you're your best version of you. You don't want to be like anyone else because you're happy with who you are. And I think so often we're focused on what other people are doing, who they are, what they have going on, that then it turns into a negative feedback loop. And then we start putting other people down, putting ourselves down, and then we're not able to accomplish anything. And now we're just a miserable piece of shit.
Summing it up perfectly.
Wow. Yeah. I love it. This is great.
Yeah,
do you do motivational speaking too? Because like, I feel like you should do that. Might as well throw it in the pile. You know what I mean?
I do. I just had an engagement last month. I spoke at a women's empowerment event here in Charlotte, and it was super dope because it was my first time speaking outside of a stage that's involved in disability.
Oh, so nice. That's awesome. That must have felt great.
Oh, it was, honestly. Can I just be on more stages?
You can see your smile, like when you started talking about it, just got like ear to ear.
It's my favorite thing. I think it's that crowd control. Like I've done a fair share of speaking engagements, and I think the coolest thing is being able to take people from laughter to tears back to laughter, and like you take them through the emotions through your journey. And there's always a piece, I think, and that's what pissed me off about the publisher so much. I'm like, did you guys even read the book? Because it's so much more than a spinal cord injury. It's so much more than disability. Like that's a piece of it, but that's not the whole journey.
That's like one slice of the pizza. That's not the whole pie. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it sounds like that's what they're trying to sell, though. They're trying to sell your disability more than the person. You know what I mean? And it happens a lot in our situations. I really do see that more and more often. Is that like they're trying to sell the disability, they're not trying to sell the person, because disability is what's going to give you the sympathy vote and all that stuff and blah 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 blah. You know, and it's just bullshit. But you know, just like you said, I could see you're a fireball and you're going to keep rocking and rolling the way you want to do it. So just keep going, right?
Fuck the free world, 313. You know what I'm saying?
I like this. Yeah.
I told my editors, I was like, look, I'm going to draft what I want to say, and then you can make it into nice words.
You send this G-rated email that you turn from my X-rated one to make it a G.
I'm like,
that's going to be a lot of work, though. I hope you're paying her right. It's like, oh, I really got to turn this around to G-rated now? Damn.
So, Jesse, I don't know if you remember, but you are the reason that I did my first travel to Florida to go meet Special Man Ken, the healer man. And
healer man.
Yeah, the dude, he put his hands on my back, and all of a sudden I was able to like sit up straight, and like the next day I was moving my legs, which was just out of this world. And so I would like to thank you for that, because I was, like you said, it was the best money you've ever spent at the time. And I totally agree, because that literally, it changed. Like, I'm a high level quad, so like, you know, a lot of things are rough. It's kind of hard to do, but just being able to sit up off the side of a mat and not have to like be held, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, because I don't know if I ever told you about Ken, Tony, but Ken
have not. This is the first time I'm learning about Ken.
Ken was an interesting man. If you roll up to this place, it's in like a strip mall. It's like liquor store, tattoo shop, no name on top of his building. And I'm just like, I got there and I was just like, man, I was like, Jesse, did she send me here to get murdered?
What are you getting me involved in?
I was like, is this some sort of sex trafficking ring that I'm about to be taken right now? Yeah, it's like they're just gonna toss me around like, you know, like I'm pass me around to everybody. I was like, what's going on? So I get out the car. This guy comes out. He's all in black polo, black dress pants, black fanny pack, blonde mullet, curly blonde mullet.
Love it.
And he comes out and he has a magnifying glass, looking at his cell phone, and I'm just like, wait a minute. And then like I was just like, you know what? I'm like, Casey, I'm like, we're already here. Like, you spent the money. I was like, let's check it out. And then it was, you know, he does like whatever. He just literally just touched my back. Didn't even do anything. Just touched it for like 5 minutes. And then I guess, you know, they always say like people, like there's certain people who have healing, you know, whatever, or, you know, the belief. I don't know what it was, but hallelujah. I'll tell you that.
Casey, so there, if you ever get down to the Lake Norman area of North Carolina, I bought into a wellness facility at the beginning of this year. And we have a couple of modalities, one of them being PEMF. It's magnetic frequency. So you sit in this chair and it puts magnetic frequency through your cells. It helps to open your cells up, flushing out toxins, similar to how a massage does, but it does it at an amplified level. And then the VibeX, that's what I've been using a lot this year. I actually have one at home now. Because I sat on this thing. So all these dudes come in, they're standing on it. And I'm like, do y'all think I could sit on that? Yeah, facts, right?
Let me vibrate my cheeks over here. You know what I mean? Let's get this.
You already know. First time I sat on it, I felt nothing, right? But when they turned it off, I was like, whoa, my legs feel insane. I feel like I could walk. Go get my leg braces. They got my leg braces and I was just walking, like moving faster than I ever had. And so I'm like, holy crap. So I've been sitting on it consistently since February, since I've regained full sensation in my legs of hot and cold. So I can tell when my legs are freezing cold and I can tell when they're super hot. I've regained a little bit of movement. So my right leg, the knee joint is functioning about 50, 60%, sometimes 70, depending on the day. You know how inconsistent a spinal cord injury is. And so I'm getting to a point where I can lock my right knee out. And then I regain touch sensation. So when people touch my legs now, I actually feel it. And then last week, my vibrator died. And so I just used the actual dildo and I felt it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
what is
awesome.
this? This sorcery.
It's
I know, right?
Did
we
you go to
call it
Hogwarts?
She must have
She went to
sold her soul or
She went
something.
to
I don't know.
Hog,
Something happened. You know what I mean?
Hogwarts.
we
She
call it
went to
our
Hogwarts.
sorcery, so that's accurate. Yeah. It's so it was created by a chiropractor over COVID. And it was
Okay.
selfishly created to improve his daughter's athletic performance. They're both tennis players at a high competitive level. And so he just wanted to improve their performance. And it was his COVID passion project. So the idea is we've seen vibrating plates before. We know vibration technology. Usually a vibration plate is a vertical pattern. So it just goes straight up rather than a circular pattern, which goes in a circular motion. So the Vibex goes in a circular pattern, and the thing that makes it unique is it goes up to 100 hertz, where a lot of vibration plates stop at 60 hertz. So the idea is between 60 and 70 hertz, you're allowing your cerebellum to completely reset, allowing for your central nervous system to communicate more properly. So if you get your CNS to communicate more properly, then those things are able to fire and actually talk to each other. So what I think is happening is that my nerves, I've had maybe a nerve or two regrow. And now that the Vibex, by using it consistently, it's allowing my nerves to actually communicate and create actual neural pathways that are talking to each other. So it's not just a communication.
Yeah.
So when I'm super spastic, like right before my period, I go sit on it. I mean, I sit on it daily, but I'll sit on it extra. I like to lay on it. I like to exercise on it. There's so much that you can do. I'm working on getting comfortable enough to get in my leg braces and stand on it. It's kind of scary to do on your own.
Baby steps.
But it's an incredible modality, and we're seeing what it can do. Now, there's a local PT here in Charlotte that's been using it. She's seen a lot of consistency in her stroke patients, very inconsistent with her spinal cord injury patients. But she has a bigger platform. I use the smaller platform. So I'm wondering if the difference in that localized vibration makes a difference. I've also been going to the same chiropractor getting a treatment called soft wave on my bladder. The idea is to wake up the muscles that are sleeping, the involuntary muscles, because your bladder has voluntary and involuntary. If you can wake up the involuntary, maybe it won't spasm, it will hold. So I've been getting those treatments for about 3 months. And after my last treatment, I've been having bladder issues where now I'm a little leaky. And I think what's happening is because I feel the pressure that I have to pee now. Also a big game changer. Right?
That is a game changer. Yeah.
But I think after the last treatment, it's like my body's in sensory overload because it is feeling so much that I'm just spasming nonstop because my legs are more spastic and my bladder's more spastic. It's not just one.
That kind of reminds me, like I been doing some shrooms every once in a while, and I don't know if you experience this, but like I'm doing like a very low dose, but like my legs are like moving, like they're like this for like, and I'm just like, wait a minute, and because like I watched this documentary, I'm a sucker for documentaries, so like with it was a Fantastic Fungi on Netflix, and they were talking about how mushrooms and like help create neural pathways, and because I'm an incomplete, so I figured maybe the reason my legs were moving is because the shrooms were like kind of trying to create, like my brain was trying to get to my legs, but it didn't know how, and it was trying to figure stuff out. So I was just like, maybe I'll just start doing shrooms a little bit more every once in a while. So that's we're going on some trips every once in a while, which is fine.
I was going to say, either way, or you're just tripping balls and you're like, maybe my legs are moving.
I don't trip like that. That's what I felt at first.
Your whole body spasms from your injury level down. So if I microdose on a regular basis, and I get micro capsules, and they're only 0.1.
Yeah, but we're twinning.
Right, but when he went up on the dose, when he went to 0.25, I spasm like crazy. Now, if I actually do a gram or more, I'm like stiff as a board, not even light as a feather. Stiff as a board, just.
Oh, I love that movie.
Take your chest down. So I'm a T4, so a T4, T5. So like chest down, just full, just spasm, shaking like. And then if I'm in my chair, my feet are running like this.
Yeah, don't do 0.5 milligrams because I did a little too much, and I felt like I ran a marathon. My legs were moving for like 4 hours. I felt so tired afterwards, like it was crazy. But I honestly think that's kind of similar to what you're talking about with the, the vibration, the creating like the neural pathways, and I think that I would like you could send that to me and privately in the thing, because I think I want to look that up and see if that's something that I could look into, because that just sounds. I'm always down to try. Listen, you got me to fly to Florida. So wherever you tell me where to go, Jesse, I'm going. Like, that's it.
I am going to send you guys for the show notes. I have a SCI resource list. It has everything from that bowel irrigation device to the fitness app that Nikki and I co-created, to different tools as far as like tires, the luggage I use, the toilet riser I use, like everything that I use that helps my paralyzed life is on that list. And so I'll share that with you guys. It's a Google Doc, so it's constantly updating. But it's just a good resource to have. It's obviously not the end of all ends. Like there's plenty of things that aren't on there, or things that are on there that might not work for everybody. But I just think it's really good that we show and share what's working for one another.
100%.
Yeah, I believe that in 100%. Yeah, like just sharing is caring. I always say that. As long as like I love trying new things, just like Casey does. So like every time I hear like our guests talk about something, I'm definitely going to look into it and try. Because maybe it might work, maybe it doesn't. But this is why life is interesting, and you just need to try new things. So
I think the biggest thing that we sell ourselves short on as individuals with disabilities is we don't try long enough. Like I'm going on, it will be in January, it will be 10 years I've been paralyzed. And I've regained more in the last 5 years than I did the first 5, as far as function and sensation and things like that. And so I think it's important, one, that we understand the human body takes time to heal. Your nerves only grow at like 1 or 2 millimeters a year or something like that. So it's a very small amount, and it's something that takes a long time to actually happen. And I don't know if you've watched the documentary Heal with Dr. Joe Dispenza. Have you seen that one, Casey?
No.
Okay, so watch the documentary Heal, and he talks about meditation and visualization. And these are things that are really good if you don't even care about recovering from your spinal cord injury. It's just good for life. If you want a future, if you want things to happen for you, meditate and visualize. Because if you can't see the future that you want, you're not going to be able to act on the things that will be able to get you there, because you have no end destination. But I didn't, after about probably a year of being injured, that first year we all just focus on walking again, and that's it. We're going to walk and all the things. But after that first year, it was like, all right, fuck walking. I just want to focus on being happy and living this wheel life to the fullest. And so I found adaptive sports and started trying different things, and then got on the U.S. developmental team for wheelchair curling. And I was on that team for 3 years. And then I went back to school, and then I created the fitness app. And so like, I think it's important not to pigeonhole ourselves to one thing, but also not stop focusing on it, because in between traveling, in between living life, I've stayed fit. I've tracked my nutrition and eat well. I get in my standing frame. I get in my leg braces. I use electric stimulation. I'm trying different modalities. Like my whole life isn't surrounded around recovery, but I've learned how to integrate it into life so I can still be happy and still recover.
I love you.
I mean, it does sound like you have a lot going on, which is awesome. That's a good thing.
Yeah, this is your like goals, like your hashtag goals, like because you're to be 10 years. I just passed 11, so like, and I agree. Like I feel like in the last few years, I feel like even like my right arm has gotten way stronger, and they're like, oh, whatever happens 6 months to a year, that's all you're gonna get. Like, oh, okay, suck a butt. Like, get out of here. Go read another textbook. I don't know why I said suck a butt. I don't know.
Who are they? And they should suck a butt, because in reality,
yes, Jesse.
It's you suck that butt. Like, but because in reality, the thing is, like, who are they to tell us what our human body's capable of?
Yeah.
And who are they to take away our hope? I mean, both of those things. It's like the doctors are so narcissistic sometimes that they don't realize, hey, you don't know everything. And just because it's in this way and it seems to be that way, and maybe for the majority it is, doesn't mean there's not outliers or other ways. Like, why don't they tell us, hey, make sure you're eating enough? Because if you don't eat enough, the body's not able to heal.
Yeah.
They tell us anything about nutrition in rehab?
Nope. I was just getting force-fed shakes 3 times a day.
Right, and those are shit too.
Yeah, God.
Ensure.
Oh, it was like they gave me like some dialysis shakes. I forgot what they were called. Disgusting.
Garbage.
Wow.
I feel like they definitely need to focus a lot on like nutrition, but they really don't, because I always say it, like I feel like when you're going to see a doctor or you're trying to do something to do with the medical field, they always try to shove some kind of pill down your throat or whatever like that. But like tell me about some kind of nutrition thing that might be outside the box, like, something more natural, or like maybe something along the lines where like I don't have to be drugging myself up all the time. But they really don't have answers because they're always trying to, the big pharma is trying to always push that pill down your throat. And it's just like, I feel like we need a resource more. I mean, that's why I've been actually doing more and more research about like how to, get better nutrition in the body and things, because that does help. If you're not, treating the body like you should, then it's going to act the way it should. You know what I mean? So that I do believe in that per se. That I'm glad that you brought that up and how you talk about that, because that's something that I've been doing lately, and it's just like it seems like it does help a little bit here and there. Nothing's like it's going to happen 100% overnight. You know what I mean? But it's definitely something that we need to learn more about, I believe.
Well, the first thing is drink more water. And I know that we're all worried about our bladder. I drink 100 ounces of water a day, but it took a while to condition my body to get to the point where it handle drinking.
Yeah,
right. And like, I'm not going to lie, there was 3 weeks or so that I was peeing myself pretty regularly, but eventually my body leveled out. And I think that's important to understand. We don't give our body time, and we don't do things consistently enough to give our body that time to realize what's going to work and what's not. If you change anything, you have a spinal cord injury. Like, your body takes time to adjust to any change, whether that's fitness, nutrition, anything. You think your bowels, because your bowels don't function right. My favorite thing is when people say they don't poop well and they don't have good results when they poop. And I'm like, well, how much are you eating? Because if you're eating under 1,200 calories a day, you're not going to have a good poop. If you're primarily eating packaged foods and processed foods, you're not going to have a good poop. It's probably going to be pebble poop in very little amounts. Whereas if you're eating dense whole foods, you'll get better results on the toilet. And I think that that's something that is not talked about enough in rehab. And so then I don't think that rehab facilities think enough about what happens after you leave.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just about when you're there and not about what happens when you leave. So increase your water, eat more to get some poops going, get some movement. And your movement doesn't have to be resistance training. It could be stretching. I stretch every single morning for 10 minutes before I start my day. I stretch out my shoulders and my legs and I get them ready for the day. I'm like, all right, we're going to get in this wheelchair and do the things, but we have to prepare ourselves for those long taxing days. Making sure you get plenty of sleep. If you're not getting good sleep, your body's not able to recover at all. And then being mindful about what you fill your mind with. If you're constantly consuming negative, like seeing people's chairs get damaged on our airlines or following the chronic whatever, and they're talking about how many spoons they don't have. Like, if you fill your mind with those things and the negative sides of disability, you are going to be consumed by the negative sides of disability. My disability isn't my biggest problem. My biggest problem is keeping 3 businesses running and alive, including a brick and mortar store. Like, that's my biggest issues. And I think we, as people with disabilities, sometimes we don't have enough going on in our life. And so all we have to focus on is the disability. Go find yourself some purpose. Go get involved in adaptive sports. Give yourself something else to worry about other than being disabled. Because if you only worry about being disabled, only worry about the pain you're in or the bowel movements you're not having, or if you're only worrying about pooping yourself or peeing yourself, you're creating that result. That's going to happen. It's the law of attraction. You get what you put out there. So if you're putting that out there, guess what you're going to get back? All the things you don't want to happen. Exactly. You be sitting in your pee pants and poop pants.
And you sit there in your poop pants. What you gonna do
poop
now?
Pants too. Yeah, I was gonna say. What? Oh man, so true.
It is very true. Like I thought, 100 liters of water a day. Jesus Christ.
I'm a thirsty. Right? You know what I mean?
I'm lucky if I finish a couple bottles. I'm like, oh, I feel disgusting.
Well, the key, start your day. Like, I start my day with 16 ounces of water, and then it doesn't feel as disgusting throughout the day.
You just pound it right away.
I literally have a bottle of water on my nightstand at all times, so that way when I wake up, down the hatch, you know what I mean?
To the face.
To the dome, baby. The dome. That's the only way we take it.
I mean, you cut it out. You cut that out, Jesi.
You stop.
You stop that right now.
You said there was no limits. I'm lying.
I know. I'm just playing. Listen, there's
100% no limits. Yeah. It's funny. Before you jumped on here, we were going to do a podcast just me and him. Yeah. We were like, hey, let's talk about relationships and like, I was like, oh my god, I got so much to say about that. But
dating is. First off, I think it's fucking terrible in general right now. The way dating is, just for,
oh my god,
even without a disability. But you throw in that wheelchair, and it's like Fuck me.
Can I please, let me share, because I had the same thing. So I had a plan where I was going to stay single, and when I was ready to have kids, I was going to go to a sperm bank and call it a day, right? Um, my last serious relationship was with another wheelchair user, and he was super incomplete, like L1 incomplete. So his dick was fully functioning. He had like he can get up on his like tall kneeling, all kinds of shit, right?
Lucky.
But the dude,
I know, right?
I know, right? But he opened up my mind sexually, because there was no awkward, because he was also a person with a disability and our bodies are just awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
And there was no awkward about it. Like, he just genuinely was attracted to me, thought I was sexy, all the things, but he taught me so much about my sexuality. And so then I dated a non-disabled guy shortly after him and I broke up. And the non-disabled guy was a CrossFitter, ripped, and I was like, whoa, I can attract a guy like this? Like, I was shook, right? Because for so long, I didn't think that I could attract
Yeah.
the type of person I wanted. Now, things didn't work out with him, and that's okay. Like, he taught me. So the disabled guy taught me how to love myself sexually. The other guy, the CrossFit guy, taught me, oh, I could get what I want. And so then I decided, I was like, fuck it. I'm going back to plan A. I'm staying single. I'm going to just focus on becoming my best version of me. I'm just focused on me. And so I made a list of everything I wanted in a partner. I genuinely compartmentalized it and just focused on me. Damn it if God didn't give me my ideal life partner at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
It's been complicated. We didn't actually commit to each other until recently. We just focused on being friends, getting to know each other, and it was the best thing ever. He's literally my best friend in the whole world, and now I have that ideal partner that makes me feel safe. Doesn't like, it's not that he doesn't recognize my disability, but he doesn't let me use it as an excuse, where a lot of partners do. Like, I dated a nurse for 2 years, and I lost my independence because all he wanted to do was take care of me, and I didn't realize it. He didn't realize it, and like, it's really cool because this relationship, I'm a very masculine woman, but he brings out that feminine energy. And so I guess my advice is, you've got to become the quality of person you're trying to attract before you can expect that person to come in your life. So forget your disability, remove that shit from your mind for a minute. You are still worthy. You are still capable. There's no fucking excuse that you're not going out and becoming your best version of you. Your disability is not an excuse. You're allowing it to be an excuse. It doesn't have to make dating hard. You own your shit. I didn't tell him about it. Like, he knew I cathed. He knows my bowel program. One day he asked me, he's like, how do you use a catheter? And I broke it down and I showed him how to take the catheter and open it and where, like, I'm like, and it goes in my urethra, and I drain my bladder. And he's like, well, how do you poop? And I was like, well, I use the bowel irrigation device with water, or sometimes I stick my finger up my butt, or sometimes I can push it out depending on the consistency and how my body's working that day. Yeah. And like, by building that friendship first, and by becoming that quality person I needed to be to attract that quality person I wanted, I got a partner who sees me beyond my disability and isn't squeamish about the disability and is everything I ever desired.
Respect.
Good for you, that's for sure.
I can't even lie. I had a sexual experience with another wheelchair user, and I can't even. That was probably the best sexual experience that I've had since my accident. Like, I've had, I've been around the block, Jesse. If you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. But that was the only. That was like one of the. Just, it was different because, like you said, it wasn't like awkward, or because we're both awkward. And you just kind of made me feel like I can go fucking date anybody I want to, which was that just meant that I would, it's the thing is just like this big ass fucking wheelchair. It is so big, and so I feel like it takes up the room. Like,
Casey, stop focusing on your wheelchair.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is the problem.
I'm so sorry.
She's just gonna yell at you the whole time.
I know, good.
Giving up, excuses.
I need a tough hand.
But that's the problem with our community, and it's not that like I said, I'm at a place in my disability where my disability is not my biggest problem. Yeah, it throws wrenches in my days, and there's definitely days where I'm like, fuck being disabled, I'm fucking over this. But at the end of the day, it doesn't control everything. I started removing the label, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter. My disability doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere. So if I allow it to be the main thing that consumes the way that people see me, like, Casey, there's so much more to you than that big ass wheelchair. There's so much fucking more to you. You have so much more to offer the world than your view of yourself in that wheelchair. And it's got to take you being okay with using a bigger wheelchair and being in that space and taking up space and being like, yeah, I fucking take up this space. Damn right I do. I'm that motherfucker. I'm here. I know that I'm adding value. I know that I'm the motherfucker that I need to be to attract who I want in this world. Like, for real, that wheelchair ain't shit, man. And like,
I feel like I'm in Wolf of Wall Street in that opening scene when he's like pounding his chest. It's like I'm sitting there, I'm like, yes, Jess, fucking tell me more. Tell me more about this.
It's the truth.
I'm gonna go fucking fuck everybody. I'm just kidding.
Fuck everybody. Do it.
I'm laying down their dick. Let's do it.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
This interview has gone so many different directions.
I fucking love it.
Crazy.
I fucking love it. You're making me. I feel like I can go do whatever the fuck I want to do right now, and I need some more.
You
Jesi
feel like you took
life.
a pump of cocaine right now? You feel like you could just take on the world? Let's do this.
I might have. I maybe natural cocaine. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but
no, you got a dose of Jesi. That's what you got.
I know. Okay, I'm ready to go.
You ready to rock and roll? Let's do this.
Think about it. Think about our community. Think about the way we talk about ourselves. Think about our talk track as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Typically, what is it? We're degrading ourselves because of our disability. But fucking why, dude? Why are we letting society have so much control over who we are in the world? My personal mission and the mission of so I do coaching, group coaching. It's $24.75 a week. It's called the Freedom Fam. We have 2 calls a week. There's a community chat. We have a habit share app that we hold each other accountable in. And the biggest thing that I tell them, I'm like, fuck what anyone else thinks about you. Fuck what your family thinks. Fuck what your friends think. Fuck what society and a bunch of strangers on the internet think that you're probably never going to meet. Like, the moment I stopped giving a damn what anyone else had to say about me was the moment I accept myself for who the fuck I am through and through. The mistakes I made, the fact I landed myself in a wheelchair, and now that my heart is so good. And my personal mission, our mission is to be the change we want to see in the world. And if you want the world to change the way they view you, it's up to you to change the way you view yourself, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Oof, I love this woman.
I know, I'm just saying.
This is great. I feel like this is both our therapy today. I guess this is what we're going through.
I had therapy yesterday, and now I got a double dose today, and
double dose.
Jesus,
double dipping.
Double dose of the D. That's fine. But wow. This is just when you hear, it's refreshing to hear somebody talk like how you're talking, because nobody really in our, like you said, in our community, nobody really talks like this. It's usually, especially in like some of those peer support groups, everybody's so damn negative, and it's always like, woe is me and all this kind of shit. And it's nice to hear like the way because you're making me feel like, like, fuck this fucking chair. Like I say that to myself sometimes, but like I don't really believe it. Like I feel like I say it because I feel like I need to say it, but now like fucking hey, man, I watch this episode like every fucking day. Jesus Christ.
Well, see, I like that she doesn't like tiptoe around things like a lot of people do. Because it's true. Because like nowadays, everybody does. I feel like they don't know how to talk to you because they don't know what you're going through, which is true. Like nobody knows what you're going through throughout the day. But I like her energy that she's just saying, like, if you don't like look at yourself and say, what the fuck do I want to do? If you don't do that every day, then what the fuck is the point? Like seriously, like if you're gonna complain, you're just gonna put yourself in a dark space, and it's just gonna get more and more negative. We need somebody like her to keep fucking yelling at people and shit. Like we need to hold ourselves accountable sometimes too. You know what I mean? It's like shit.
Jesi comes through and she puts the dick on the table and she lets you know.
She put it up the big time right there. She's like, check this out. What's up?
It on the table and said, "What's up? This is what's going down."
Let's just clip that audio and that be the promo for the show.
You putting the dick on the table?
Yeah.
That's it. No.
Jessi's here putting her dick on the table again. Oh.
That's it. Oh, it's like there
she
goes
just keeps whipping it out. We keep tucking it back in, but she keeps whipping it out, and it's just like, all right, come on.
I fucking love it. Jesus Christ.
She's a shower.
Yeah,
it's okay.
She's not a grower. She's a shower. That's fine.
That's
because she's got that
big red.
John Hamm. Yeah.
That's what. So Bree calls me Big Red. She says your inner black man's coming out. Bring him back, because I'm straight up like I got a big old dick, and I don't even have a real dick. And that's what's so important about like going back to the relationship side of like I do have a big dick. I have a lot of big dick energy, and I'm well aware. Big dick energy for sure. It's well, I wasn't like this the whole time. This is something that was built and developed, and I think that's really important. That's why I talk about being addicted to pills. That's why I talk about having abortion, cheating on my ex, like completely burning my entire life to the ground before I even got in the wheelchair, right? Because the more radically honest we are with who we were and where we came from, the less that anyone can say about us. And when you remove other people's power of opinion and words from your life, you got big dick energy too. Because nothing else matters. Nothing else matters, man. Yeah. So look, I get canceled, Greg. I'm not gonna lie.
Not on this podcast. Not here.
No, because I don't pussyfoot around things. I speak my mind about what's going on in the world. About like I made a post yesterday. It was like, go out and vote. And people immediately are in the comments arguing back and forth, telling me what a piece of shit I am for who they assume I voted for, which by what I posted in the past, they're right. But like it at the end of the day, like I don't think you're a piece of shit for having a different opinion than me. I think you're a human being. We're meant to have different opinions. And I hate how politics the last 8 to 12 years has really divided us as individuals. Where we can't accept, like, if you fucking love Kamala, you love Kamala. That's cool. If you love Trump, you love Trump. That's cool.
Go for it.
I'm cool with you, right? Like, and I think that's so important to recognize on such a massive level. Like, if you don't agree with me that when I say that we're not entitled to Social Security disability, we're very blessed to receive it in this country. But you look at other countries, like, people don't even get wheelchairs. They don't even get their basic catheter supplies. You got people bedbound that can't afford a wheelchair. So while you're out here complaining about how you want more and more and more, like, take a minute to be fucking grateful for what you do have, dude. You have so much more than most people. And I think the biggest issue with our community, because you guys know, I mean, especially you living in New York, Tony, like over 50% of the country is super inaccessible, right? Like, it's just, we genuinely are the one population that doesn't have equal access in this country.
New York
one talks about it. No one talks about it. You know why? Because we're too busy arguing with each other and differing opinions rather than getting together. You know why the trans community has made so much progress? Because they're the loudest in the room. They may be 3% of the population, but they're fucking loud, dude. And that's the problem in the disabled community. We're too busy hating on each other for having different opinions rather than coming together and actually creating change for us to have equal access. We can go back to hating each other once we get that change.
Yeah, for sure.
Preach. Let's go straight up.
Let's go storm the Capitol. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't do that.
No, that's kind of podcast. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's just
we're getting everybody together. We're all going streaking.
I know. I really want you guys. So every year, I have a nonprofit called Wheel With Me Foundation. We host quarterly empowerments where members of our community teach their skill or trade. Our next empowerment's actually next week. And every summer, we co-collab on a summer camp up in Carrabassett Valley, Maine. It's $150 for the weekend. That includes your lodging and your food for the weekend. So $150 gets you fed and a place to stay with an accessible shower with a padded shower bench. Okay. And then you just have to worry about your flight to Portland, Maine. So it's $150 and whatever your flight costs to Portland, Maine. The shuttle bus with a lift comes and picks you up. And you have a weekend of just wheelchair users in adult camp. This next year will be our 4th year. And I think you guys would be a fucking great time to have.
that's like Crip Camp, that documentary Crip Camp. Yeah, that's kind of like the program that me and Tony met at. We met at Empower. I don't know if you're familiar with Empower.
No.
It's a 2-week spinal cord program. It's just basically like usually like 10 to 12 participants are all in wheelchairs, and they have it's a nonprofit. So there's like you get care, like there's res aides who like help you with people like myself who need care and stuff like that. And then there's obviously it's like there's food, and there's like they take you adaptive cycling, kayaking, we go surfing, like, and all that kind of shit. It's great. That's where me and Tony met. But so like at your retreat, or it was a retreat or something like that, you said like what happens if somebody like myself who needs like a caregiver?
So we're working on that. So we're actually all grant funded, which is how we keep the registration so low. So fingers crossed we get the grant money this year to have a second retreat with where you could bring your caregiver to it as well is the goal. So that's what we're working on. Right now we don't have that, but hopefully next year we're working on getting 2 camps because we can only bring 15 people or so to each one. And last year we had, I think, 60 applicants. Yeah. And so it's like, we got to raise more money to be able to have more camps.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I'll keep you
amazing.
posted, Casey, for sure. I want like, oh my God,
What
you'd be a
happened?
blast to have there. I'll keep you posted on the
Oh,
caregiver
yes, please,
thing.
please,
Yeah,
please, 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 please.
yeah.
I,
We'll
I
have so much fun.
fucking love it. Yes. Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny because just like Casey said, we both met at this same program that's similar to what you're talking about. I mean, they focus more on trying to make you more independent when you're out in the world and everything, which is why I fell in love with the program and why we always talk highly of it. But I always say that I feel like there needs to, like, I wish there was more like for instance, I would love to. I mean, I say this, but like I feel like you're just I almost know what your answer is gonna be, so I'll just put it out there. I feel like I would really like to get together with like some people, like-minded people, and try to put together some kind of like trip like yearly, like once a year, like go like travel somewhere in the States and be like, all right, we're all gonna go here and we're all gonna fucking take over this fucking spot and we're all gonna have a great time because I feel like we don't have enough of that because people are afraid to get out of their comfort zone. And like even me, like I admit, like I'm a very much of a couch potato nowadays, and like I'm really pushing myself to try to get out there and do more. So this year I'm really starting to like do more stuff, and like I feel like there's a program that we need to have some kind of program like that where like we can be like, all right, but there is going to be a lot of applicants, you know what I mean? So like, but there's got to be somebody that can try to figure it out and like put it together and be like, all right, say for instance, like, oh, all right, we want to go to Florida for like, you know, like a week or whatever. All right, we got to get this together, get these people together, and blah 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 blah. That's something that would be really cool because, like I said, this program that me and him did, it's for 2 weeks, and every time I go there, I freaking have a blast, and and at the end of the 2 weeks, like I don't want to go home because I built such a great bond with all these people, and like I feel like the world that we live in, like it's nothing like that program because when we're there, it's like we're in our own oasis or something like that. You know what I mean? It's great. You know?
I do. I get that because that's how camp is. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's like just being with your people. But I also, I don't know, man. I'm in such a weird place because like I love our community, but I've worked so hard to not get pulled back into a victim mindset. And
Yeah.
sometimes when we're all in that space together, we start talking about the struggles. It's similar to a support group, right? Where it's like just nothing but the negative. And if you don't have the right group of people together, it's easy
To
for
fall
that
back into that.
for that to cloud the entire
Yeah.
thing because that negative is going to catch fire more than positive because it's
100%.
Yeah,
easier to deal
100%. Yeah, exactly.
See, I
we're
was
really
trying to.
fortunate.
I would love if there was some sort of like community, like a living, like a
Working on
spinal cord living community. Just because that's something that I
That would be
like a farm or something. And it doesn't just have to be
tiny homes.
just people with disabilities, huh?
No, it's just people with disabilities. I'm working on
Oh,
something similar to that. So Wheel with Me Foundation, that is our ultimate goal, is to build a transitional community for wheelchair users to
see, like,
integrate them
come
into the
on,
business community.
Jesse, where have
Yeah.
you been?
hmm
Where have you been all of our lives? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I got disability businesses. Like, so Nikki and I, Tony, you were saying that you were a couch potato.
Make
Like,
you
download
a regular
Nikki
guest
Walsh,
on here.
Nikki Walsh, should that fit? Girl. So you gotta use her whole name. Put some respect on her name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But her and I, we launched the Wheel with Me Adapt Fit app. It's a downloadable app in the iOS store, and it's currently the only app that is made by wheelchair users for wheelchair users, not some non-disabled trainer telling us how to train. We're actually disabled trainers. And it's a
Nice.
downloadable app in the iOS store, Google Play Store. It's $14.99 a month. If you want to learn the transfer series, that's completely free, but we have classes in there. So it's interactive classes. There are a lot of F-bombs. I'm sorry. I tried not to cuss when we were recording, and every single one I'd be like, fuck. And I'm like, oh, damn it. I did it again. But there's also routines that show you how to do the movements if you don't want to watch the class. It also has a free private Facebook community called Wheel with Me Adapt Fit, but we wanted to bring fitness and make it accessible. So we have everything from at-home workouts to in the gym programming. So if you want an actual program to follow for you, this app is for you. There's strength training, resistance bands, body weight, bed workouts. So it's a little bit of everything, and we're working on adding more people. You're going to see faces like Anna Stroll's in there now. If y'all don't know who that is, give my girl a follow. She does a lot of ADA content. She's just an incredible, cute little thing. With a lot of knowledgeable ADA content, but like you're going to see some familiar faces in there and people that you know, and it's a community itself. There's a community in there where we talk to each other, and I'm really proud of what we created.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Tony, get up on there, couch potato.
Get up on. I'm not like unnecessarily like, oh, I sit around in my house all day. No, I don't know.
Now he's like a couch turnip.
Oh, Coach Turnip. Wow, I like that one.
I don't know where that came from. Sorry.
No, I can't say because I don't just sit around on the couch going, all right, I hate myself right now. I do exercise and everything like that, but I'm saying I do less of it. Like I really do less of it nowadays because I don't know, it's just because my body sucks and it hurts and blah blah blah. But just like you say, you just kind of sometimes you just got to push through it and like stop doing with the negative shit.
That's
what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get out of that negative space because it does build up in your head sometimes. You know what I mean? You sit in that negative space and it sucks. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to open up. That's why I love doing this too, because we open ourselves up and we're like, okay, let me second guess myself and like let me move on to bigger and better things because I love the conversations that we have with people. You know what I mean? Even if it's just me and Casey, like we just communicating back and forth, just talking about our day and everything, it kind of opens me up to be like, damn, there's more out there to do and have fun and shit like that. You know what I mean? So
and I think I consumed myself with the disabled community probably my first 5-6 years. And this year when I bought that business, we service just the local population. So we've only had probably 5 wheelchair users come through, 6 wheelchair users, compared to hundreds, like 500 non-disabled individuals. And when you start interacting with the non-disabled community, getting them to break down their barriers and get past your wheelchair and treat you like a human, you realize they struggle with a lot of the same things we do. A lot of them are in chronic pain. A lot of them, like women that have babies, they pee themselves on a regular basis. They sneeze too hard, they pee themselves, right?
They piddle a lot. Yep.
Right. And it's things that aren't commonly talked about, so we don't realize how much we actually have in common with non-disabled people. Because when we become individuals with disabilities, we often act like we were never non-disabled to begin with. And we forget what we struggled with our non-disabled life. Like I constantly remind myself where I came from because I'm so much better off now, mentally, physically, and financially.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be in this situation. I don't even know if I'd be alive if I didn't become a person with a disability. And so it's a perspective
heavy
shift,
shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like realizing like my pain's an 7 to 8 every day. And I still get up. Sometimes I'll lay in that bed a little longer than I should. But I still get up. I still get going, and I still knock it out. And I think that that's really important because I'm no different than anyone else. I struggle emotionally. I have depression. I have ADHD. I have the things. I don't let them control me. Just like I don't I do not let any label that a doctor has placed on me, whether it's spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, ADHD, depression, I do not let that control me.
That's great.
God damn.
Yeah.
I feel like I just ran a marathon. Fuck.
We did. We did a word marathon.
Yeah, man.
I just want you guys
to
realize how
I feel like it's nice to hear that because like you are like something that people need to hear. Like like people need to hear you, the way you talk and the way you carry yourself. Because like I feel like now after just having this little hour conversation, I feel like I can do whatever the fuck I want to do and
take on the world.
Because like I always like I'm working on a few projects right now, and I'm just like I get like in my head, I'm just like man, but now I'm just like once we hang up, I'm fucking let's go. I got people to go, people to do, I mean what just happened? What just happened? See, I don't know.
People to do, things to see. That's how it is, right?
It's just fucking A, man. Shoot. But I mean, we usually kind of wrap up around an hour or so. Tone, do you have anything else, or Jesse, do you have anything else you'd like to add to this?
I mean, because I just want to say thank you because this has been a great conversation.
There's going to be so many good clips, so many clips that we could like.
Oh my god, so many like clips.
So many Instagram. Yeah, this is going down basement.
As long as this is on the cover photo, as far as like on the feed, feel free to collab with me because we'll post that up. Or if you send it to me, I can post.
Yeah, no. 100%. Usually with the reels, we post the reels, and I'll put like a cover photo of you doing something, and then like I'll actually to collaborate, so it's on both our pages. So we're gonna rock out with our cocks out on this one.
Hey, I got Big Reg coming out.
Oh, Big Reg has been out.
It's been on the table for a long time.
Yeah, it might be a little cold right now because too much fresh. Yeah. He's still there. He's
Hey,
guy cut it out.
we're gonna have some fucking clips and a
This
half
is
on
good.
this.
This is good. This is good. This is good.
I mean, the best way to wrap this up is I would say, like, just speak on it. Like, what do you got going on in your life? Just let everybody know, like, you know, where they can, like, get a hold of you or maybe even reach out to you if they need to, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, please, please, please follow Wheel With Me Foundation and Wheel With Me Adapt Fit. Those are both of my wheelchair related organizations. We're here for you. We want to support you to independence, give you some love and light so you're able to go out and get whatever you want in life. You can follow me at Jesi Stracham. Looks like Stracham, but it's Stracham, like a straw you drink from, ham you eat. And I'm Jesi Stracham on all platforms. My website. If you want more info on community coaching and joining the program, send me a message. We'll get you in the Freedom Fam and get you to achieving full freedom in your life. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're the only person in your way. No one else, not your disability, not where you came from, not whatever you're struggling with, not your financial status, you. You are the only person in your way. And if you want something to change, it starts with your actions. And if you gained value today, please share this with a friend and tell them what you gained and how they can gain value too. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, awesome. That's a great closer right there.
You know, I'm just gonna say thank you for coming on the show, Tony. This has been probably life-changing for you because it's been for me. And I would just like to thank our sponsors as always, Seven Bros Apparel. And if anybody else wants to hop on that sponsor train, you know where to find us. And thank you again, and we'll catch you guys on the flippity flip.